Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Let's begin with security matters. Bandits have abducted about 43 persons, mostly women and children, from the Kakidawa ward in the Gaidam Goga district in Maradun local government area of Zamfara state. It was guarded that the heavily armed attackers stormed the village, firing sporadically and forcing residents, especially men, to flee into the bush. A source said women and children unable to escape were taken at gunpoint, adding that the head count of the abducted was conducted the following day, Monday. Locals said the bandits had not contacted any of the affected families to discuss ransom demands. And to the courts, magistrate court sitting in Abduct has adjourned till 20th December 2024 to decide on the bail application brought before it by the Council's human rights activist Dele Farotimi. The rights activist is standing trial on an amended 14-count defamation suit brought before it by a senior advocate of Nigeria, Afeba Balola. Meanwhile, Dele Farotimi pleaded not guilty to the charges. News Center's Igbelani Omani reports.
Dele Farotimi was brought to the magistrate court on Tuesday morning by operatives of the Rapid Response Squad of the Nigerian Police and officials of the Nigerian Correctional Service. The human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi pleaded not guilty to the amended 14 charges leveled against him. The charges stem from a defamation suit filed by Afeba Balola SAN over allegations made in Farotimi's book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. The court's proceedings were marked by a dramatic turn of events, including a legal showdown between counsel to Afeba Balola, Taiwo Adeniyi, and Farotimi's counsel Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, a senior advocate of Nigeria. The latter's appearance was initially objected to by the prosecuting team, citing rules that prohibit senior advocates of Nigeria from appearing in magistrate courts. Despite the objections, the court allowed the proceedings to continue. Farotimi's defense team submitted a preliminary objection, urging the court to dismiss the suit on grounds that a charge is legally invalid and non-existent. The court has reserved its ruling and adjourned the bail application to Friday, December 20, 2024. This means Farotimi will remain in custody for another 10 days, sparking widespread concern and call for his release.
Has already made a pronouncement of bail. It is expected that that particular bail should have been granted to him at the magistrate court. This was actually what His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi, who was exploring all options to make sure that this particular case has been put to rest. You remember that he tried as much as possible to reach out to major persons than to be given this particular bail, so that the issues can be trashed in the position of court later. As Democrats and respecters of the law, we will respect the position of the case and at the same time present ourselves in the court of law at the next proceedings. But it is expected that this particular case is a bailable offense, especially in the magistrate court, so that we can be given a bail, so that we will not escalate this particular matter unnecessarily.
Thereafter, a mild drama ensued between the supporters of Afeba Balola and Dele Farotimi outside the court.
On behalf of myself, I'm speaking as a citizen of this Ekiti township, all right, as an individual of this community. Nobody can destabilize the peace of our state. We know they are rented talks. We know they are hired to do this. But no amount of street wailing, no amount of internet attack can make group of underdogs to subdue the right of our father.
In a country where there is law and order, all the things that were written in the book by Mr. Dele Farotimi are the things that played out in this court. I've been here personally. I was here when another charge was served, again in the prison, and again and again and again. Nobody is above the law. If this is a civil case, why is it happening like this? Why is this happening? You are telling us that the government is under one man, which is the same man that is in question. Yes. And you are saying that the same book we are condemning now, and the things here, what is happening in this court? I listen to both parties, and it is not justifiable that something like this happened in the under the watch of Nigerians. This is going to create a revolution, and we're not going to sit back around it.
The original charge was amended, and the new charge was read to the defendant. And thereafter, the application for bail was argued. So, and the ruling adjourned to 28th of December. this year. So that is the proceeding in the court today in summary.
The case has sparked widespread interest, with many Nigerians closely following the development. In Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, for News Central, I am Igbalani Omoni.
The Federal Capital Territory High Court on Tuesday refused to grant a bail application filed by the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, saying it was filed prematurely. Justice Marian Anene, while delivering the ruling, said having been filed when the first defendant was neither in custody nor before the court, the instant application was incompetent. The former governor is standing trial along with two others in an alleged 110 billion naira money laundering charge brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In opposing the bail request, the prosecution counsel argued that the instant application was grossly incompetent, having been filed before arraignment. He said it ought to be filed after arraignment, but the first defendant's counsel disagreed, saying there was no authority. The Rule of Law and Accountability Advocacy Center, RULAC, has condemned the misuse of power, violent arrest and repression of free speech by security agencies in Nigeria. At a press conference in Lagos themed Our Rights, Our Future, Right Now, RULAC's Executive Director, Okechukwu Nwaguma, condemned predatory policing practices by agencies such as the Nigerian Police, the State Security Service, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Citing recent incidents like the arrest of Dele Farotimi, the abduction of Dr. Ihe and the broadcaster Nonsokwa Nkwa for criticizing government officials, Wanguma described law enforcement as prioritizing political interest over public safety. He emphasized the urgent need for accountability and enforcement of the Nigerian Police Act 2020, urging immediate action to halt human rights abuses.
This press conference is necessitated by the urgent need to respond to egregious developments with regards to police conduct and practices and impunity for abuses and corruption. The principles of the Police Act 2020 should not only be understood by both police and individuals, but should also be integrated into daily policing practices, thereby promoting a culture of lawfulness and respect for human rights within the Nigerian police.
Stakeholders within the criminal justice and internal security space have severally posited that the Nigerian police force is the weakest link in the value chain of actors that would ensure a strong rule of law, effective criminal justice, and public safety and security for all persons in the country. Over the years, it has become apparent that a presidential committee or similar ad hoc initiatives cannot solely accomplish the task of reforming the Nigerian police force. What is needed is a multi-pronged approach, with all stakeholders working collaboratively with each agency implementing its mandate and contributing to the overall task of reforming the Nigerian police force.
President Bola Tinubu has appointed Shamseldin Ogujimi as the Acting Accountant General of the Federation, AGF. This was contained in a statement on Tuesday by presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga. Onanuga said his appointment is effective immediately following the pre-retirement leave of the incumbent AGF, Dr. Mrs. Oluwatoyin Madane. He noted that Ogunjimi brings over 30 years of extensive experience in financial management across the public and private sectors. Onanuga described the appointee as a career civil servant and the most senior director in the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. And to one of our lead stories tonight, members of the Southern Caucus in Nigeria's House of Representatives have expressed their support for the proposed tax reform bill, emphasizing their willingness to engage in dialogue to improve the nation's tax laws. Speaking to Newsmen in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, chairman of the caucus, Nicholas Mutu, says that their endorsement of the bill follows a thorough review of the proposed legislation and its expected positive impact on citizens.
the Southern Caucus in the House of Representatives have met, and we welcome the bill, and that we are open to dialogue. As we process it, inputs are made from our various states and constituencies. Some states have already received those inputs. And so we are in consonance with our constituents and the states that we represent. And so we are ready to work to ensure that we give a better tax law to Nigeria. That's what we are interested in. It's not to play to the gallery.
The 13% that is being gotten by oil producing states started with 50%. Recently we did the PIB. We had issue with the host community bill as well. So there's negotiation back and forth. At the end of the day, Nigerians will be better for it. Yes. Negotiation is an art. We'll sit down, go back and forth, exchange, make them see reason, we see reason, and we all ensure that this matter comes to a logical end that will be in the interest of the good people of Nigeria.
We're on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll be interviewing the RULAC's Executive Director, Okechukwu Nwaguma, on the Human Rights Day commemorated today. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Let's now speak to the Rule of Law and Accountability Advocacy Center, RULAC Executive Director, I beg your pardon, Okechukwu Nwaguma. Okechukwu, thank you for joining us. In your presser, you didn't seem to have a lot of, enthusiasm as to how human rights is in Nigeria, particularly when it comes to the police. Talk to us about what is the uppermost concern about human rights in Nigeria.
Thank you for having me, and I apologize for the poor lightning. Today is International Human Rights Day, when we commemorate the, coming into the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, when it is commemorated. And as it is, what we find is that in Nigeria, there's a lot of challenges with regards to observance of human rights. With, the recent incident of police, conduct, tends to put a slur on the, human rights record of Nigeria. The way the police operates, in fact, I thought that with the NSAS protest of 2020, that lessons would have been learned. But what we find is that the Nigerian police continue to operate the same way that they were operating that prompted the NSAS protest. But besides police violence and impunity, we see a lot of violation of other human rights. I mean, corruption itself, it leads to human rights violation, because corruption denies the country of resources to address, poverty and unemployment and inequality. And when citizens protest to call attention of government to the need for deliver good governance, they use security forces to repress, freedom of expression and political dissent. So I think that for us, today, being Human Rights Day, should be a day that should call attention of Nigerian authorities to recommit themselves to fulfilling their obligations to their commitment under local laws and international human rights standards that Nigeria subscribes to.
All right, you talked a lot about the police, so I would want you to tell us what reforms are you looking to see in the Nigerian police that will strengthen human rights in the country?
So we want to see a police force that is a police of democracy, that is insulated from politics, a police force that serves and protects the people, not a police force that serves regime interests and offers itself as a tool of repression and settling scores. The case of Dele Farotimi is not as isolated. The problem is not whether Dele Farotimi has a case to answer, but the way the police went about the operation, the arrest. And this is, like I said, it's not isolated. We have seen a lot of cases across the country where the police, rather than, the whole issue of dabbling into civil disputes. The offense that Dele has been accused of is a civil dispute, and the Police Act has prohibited the police from dabbling into civil disputes. So we think that the police has to be more civil and comply with the provisions of the Police Act, and act as a police that operates in a democratic dispensation, not a police that serves regime interests and oppresses and represses human rights. That, I think, is what we need in terms of, political interference, corruption, and impunity for human rights violation and corruption. All these needs to be addressed, and I think that the government needs to demonstrate greater commitment to implementing far-reaching reforms that will address these challenges.
All right, okay, we'll have to leave it there for now. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you.
As the 2024 fiscal year wraps up, the Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, has presented a total budget estimate of 750,282,200,000 naira only for the 2025 fiscal year to the Abia State House of Assembly for consideration. The governor says a total sum of 611.7 billion naira, representing 82% of the budget, is earmarked for capital expenditure, while 138.6 billion, representing 18% of the budget, is for recurrent expenditure, representing about 30% increase in the 2024 budget of 533 billion. Presenting the budget estimate to the chambers of the State House, Governor Oti says his government took into account major economic obstacles such as inflation and exchange rate, which have dealt harshly on fiscal plans.
I'm glad to report that we have captured a 4 billion outlay, which will, on approval by this Honorable House, be channeled into the revamping and reticulation of 47 kilometers pipeline for the Umuahia Regional Water Scheme. Just like last year, health and education sectors will receive about 35% of the budgetary outlay, with 15% of the entire envelope going to the health sector. Basic and secondary education will get 14.63%, while tertiary education will receive 5.42%.
And we can also attest that the budget of 2024 was meticulously appropriated and executed. We assure you that we will always cooperate with the executive in the execution of the mandate from our people to move the state forward.
Member representing Ethiop Federal Constituency Delta State at the House of Representatives and Chairman House Committee on NDDC, Iriatake Ibodi Swenu, has officially defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress in the state. The federal lawmaker, accompanied by her 38 colleagues from the House of Representatives, led thousands of her supporters to dump the umbrella party to pick up the broom alongside estimated 2 million defectors. The national chairman of the APC, represented by the immediate past Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ovie Omoagege, who received the defected federal lawmaker and her supporters at the Ogara Township Stadium, as well as the deputy chairman, described Iriatake's defection as a welcome development to the party, especially as the 2027 general elections draw closer.
Take is a bulldozer. She's a go-getter. There's nothing Take sets her sights to that she does not achieve. She is a chip of the old block. So with Take now in the APC fold, we can now rest assured and focus on the other federal constituencies. Because Ethio federal constituency is gone. Not be so? Even the pastor, but they know say Ethio federal don't go. They know. Not be so?
As she don't enter the right place, you don't say she be Amazon. She don't date the right zone. Where they say na APC she did. So when I go to see better work, we go to support them more.
Before, I just a carry PDP for name, but my spirit was APC. But when they gonna do anyhow, they don't know say me, I be on my voodoo. You know they fear anybody with their respect. APC! We don't come. We don't come. And now we won't show them say APC is complete. APC is complete. I am home now. I am home now. They tried to dull my shine. They tried to oppress me. I'm the daughter of a lion. Nobody can oppress me. Nobody can push me down. Nobody can hold me. Nobody. They don't have done them. The whole of each of federal, my leader, I can tell you, is APC now. Some of them just don't know it yet. But I can guarantee you, by next year, you will see the wave. You will see the wave.
In line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and a strategic effort to fortify the All Progressive Congress presence in Ethiopia Federal Constituency, Delta State, South Nigeria, Mrs. Eriatake Iboriswenu, the member representing the constituency in the House of Representatives and Chairman, House Committee on NDDC, is set to empower her constituents with various items including cars, tricycles, motorcycles, sewing machines and cash to alleviate the current economic challenges. The empowerment program is scheduled to take place at the Ugara Township Stadium, administrative headquarters of Ethiopia West Local Government Area of Delta State.
And then we decided to bless it by empowering our people as well and giving back to our people, because during the election and the campaigns we made promises for our people, and by God we will keep to those promises. By God we keep to those promises. This is our second empowerment since I became a House of Rep member. And like I always say to my people, I will do all I can to make sure that I bring the dividend of democracy to them, that I bring any development, infrastructure development to them, and that no matter what, I will give everything humanly possible to move mountains for them.
Eriatake, may God bless her. God bless Eriatake for this gift, sewing machine. Besides me, I'm a married man, and she's not having a job. With this, she has finally gotten a job. So up she go.
In fact, I will use it. I know that my family will free from that.
Now many balls they give me. This one I go use and take shop. Go use and take care of my family. Eriatake is too much. What the governor they do now, Eriatake do, so I don't get much to say. God will bless Eriatake and his family, and God will see bless us all when they support Eriatake for 30.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has flagged off the construction of about 15-kilometer access road network from the A2 junction along the Abuja-Lokoja Expressway to Pai in the Kwali Area Council of the FCT. The minister, during the flag-off ceremony, says that the road, expected to be completed in 6 months, will improve the security of the area, enabling security operatives to effectively tackle crime. My colleague Abadin Uyi tells us more.
The road from the A2 junction located along the Abuja-Lokoja Expressway to Pai at the Kwali Area Council of the FCT comprise of untarred road network. The road, key to residents of the Kwali Area Council, has been left abandoned by previous administrations, a situation the current Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, describes as unfortunate.
Abuja was created since 1976. A total disconnect between the city and the satellite towns. Ordinarily, we would have had not only the city, one city, we would have had not less than 2-3 cities.
While the coordinator of the Satellite Towns Development Department of the Federal Capital Territory Administration describes the road as key to the well-being of the area, the minister says that it will help boost the area's security when completed.
People talk about insecurity. Why would you not have insecurity when there are no access road?
The A2 junction to Pai Road is more than just an infrastructure project. It is a vital artery that will connect our farmers to markets, our businesses to opportunities, and our people to prosperity.
He adds that the road, when completed, will benefit citizens of the area immensely. Also, several others, including the Edsu Kwali, commended the minister for his drive to improve the lives of residents of the Federal Capital Territory.
If you add a 15 kilometer to almost about 18 kilometers of Pai to Gomani, you are talking about 30-something kilometers.
You started by commissioning Dr. Ladi Kwali Road, which was in Kwali Town. You went ahead to flag off this Yangoji Sukuku Road, which is almost 80% completion level, at the 80% completion level. You went further to flag off Kweta Yebu Road, which is ongoing.
My only problem is when he leaves here, I hope we will find somebody that will be able to fill these shoes, because he will have done a lot that it will be difficult for anybody to match up his credentials.
From the South, this is not new to us. We know our leader for who he is. We knew when he was given this appointment that Abuja was not going to be the same again.
The 15-kilometer flag-off ceremony of the construction of the A2 Junction Road to Pai is the 6th flag-off ceremony of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
3 new model schools were inaugurated in Borno State as part of a collaborative effort between the World Bank and the Borno State government to improve educational access in the Northeast region. Governor Babagana Zulum praised the initiative, highlighting the state's remarkable achievement in reducing the number of out-of-school children from over 2.2 million to fewer than 700,000, a 70% reduction, while calling for more effort. News Center's Umaru Kirawa completes the report.
The number of out-of-school children in Nigeria is still alarming. According to UNICEF data, 1 in 3 children is out of school in Nigeria, representing 10.2 million at the primary school level and 8.1 million children at the junior secondary level. The World Bank Country Director for Nigeria is in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, for a 2-day working visit. The country director, alongside Borno State Governor, inspect and inaugurate 3 model schools.
This school is also a symbol of resilience, a beacon of hope, and a symbol of renaissance in the face of adversity. We are truly impressed by the way you have been building back better, including in the education sector. To the students that will enjoy this environment, you are the future of Borno State. You are the future of Nigeria.
Our administration has built 104 schools and restored 2,931 classrooms and other infrastructure, resulting in a remarkable 70% reduction in the out-of-school children, now fewer than 700,000 as of 2024. We are deeply honored to have the World Bank as a partner in this journey, and we are confident that your visit will further strengthen and shared commitment to progress.
The model schools in Meri, Mulai and Gala Meri are equipped with modern facilities designed to accommodate children displaced by conflict and promote inclusive learning.
This school this year has successfully enrolled 300 out-of-school adolescent girls. We shall also be commissioning the Government Day Senior Secondary School, Galamari in Muna, a co-educational senior secondary school established by the Borno State government that has so far enrolled 500 out-of-school children.
Yanzu Mary mun samu makarantu, sabbin makarantu an sake modernizing makarantarmu. Gashi na makarantarmu yayi kyau, yayi amfani, muna masa godiya.
We are most grateful for your justice as we can now go to school. We think our vicinity once more. We are grateful.
More funding, recruitment, and continuous training of teachers are some of the strategies to further strengthen the education system after years of insurgency-related setbacks. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Thank you for staying with us. Election victory celebrations continue in Ghana after the landslide win of the National Democratic Congress NDC candidate John Mahama. In his acceptance speech, the president-elect emphasized the weight of the responsibilities ahead, stating that the work begins immediately. News Central's Bernard Kede, who has been following the developments in Accra, reports on the announcement of the results and what lies ahead for the new administration.
In the light of the above, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election.
And with this declaration, John Dramani Mahama officially reclaimed the presidency of Ghana. At his office in Accra, the atmosphere was electric. Jubilant supporters sang and danced as president-elect made his way to deliver his victory speech.
Sisters, it is with tremendous humility that I accept this clear mandate that you, the good people of Ghana, have given me to lead this great nation as your next president.
Also addressing the crowd was his running mate, Jane Nana Okpoku Agyemang. Widely celebrated as a symbol of hope for women across Ghana and Africa, she thanked voters and promised that the new administration would prioritize unity and development.
The victory is for all of us, but especially for our daughters, for our youth, for our women.
While celebrations erupted across the country, the weight of expectation remains high. Political analysts say Ghanaians will be closely watching the NDC's ability to deliver on its promises.
If he is unable to deliver, two scenarios. One, the NDC political party would suffer greatly. That is, if the citizens don't even say we don't want democracy again, the NDC political party would suffer greatly. But if that does not happen, then only a few people would believe in democracy.
As for the ruling party, silence has followed its defeat, but political strategists predict a rebuilding process is already underway.
Now, being opposition, it's time for them to reorganize, time for them to reconnect, and time for them to prove to Ghanaians that, yes, they've regretted, and given the chance, they will be able to reclaim their position. But if they don't do that, if they don't criticize constructively, then I think their party might not survive in the next couple of years.
With the focus now shifting from celebration to governance, the spotlight is firmly on the president-elect, Mahama, and his team as they prepare to take on the challenges of leadership. In Accra for News Central, I'm Bernard Akede.
Thank you, Bernard. Let's go over now to our business desk for today's business update.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
In business, we begin by telling you that fiscal consolidation in sub-Saharan Africa, including Ghana, will take center stage in 2025. This is according to Fitch Solutions' latest report titled Sub-Saharan Africa Macro Key Themes for 2025. Stronger headline growth, but structural vulnerabilities exist. According to the report, key economies like South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana experienced fiscal slippage due to election-related spending and public resistance to enhanced revenue collection in 2024. However, with elections concluded and cost of living pressures easing, it posits that governments are expected to take more decisive steps toward fiscal consolidation in 2025, while the overall sub-Saharan Africa budget deficit is expected to narrow from 4.3% of GDP in 2024 to 3.9% in 2025. It maintained that it will remain above the 2010 to 2019 average of 3.2%. In Southern Africa, South African business confidence recorded its most significant year-on-year improvement in nearly 2 years in November. Data from the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry had shown the business confidence index rose to 118.1 in November, up from 114.2 in October and 110.2 in September. This boost was fueled by higher tourist numbers, precious metal prices, and strong vehicle sales. Additionally, optimism about the economic prospects under the newly formed coalition government played a key role in driving the rise in sentiment. And still in Southern Africa, Zimbabwe's Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister, Professor Mthuli Ncube, has announced that the 2025 national budget is designed to stabilize the economy and enhance resilience against future economic shocks. Speaking at a post-budget breakfast meeting, Ncube highlighted the challenges faced by the economy, including the impact of the El Nino-induced drought, which reduced growth from 5% in 2023 to about 2% in 2024. Additionally, falling global commodity prices, except for gold, have strained the economy, where minerals account for over 90% of export earnings. He further emphasized that 11% of the budget will be allocated to agriculture to ensure national food security. And that's our offering on business news at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. The news continues shortly.
And that's the sports news.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
In the world of sport, the National Sport Commission has unveiled plans to establish a training fund for exceptional athletes to help them prepare for the major competitions. NSC Director General Bukola Olokpade revealed this on Tuesday during the meeting with presidents and secretaries of various sport federations in Abuja. He said the initiative will be launched in February 2025 and will see Nigerian athletes get paid to prepare adequately before major competitions. Olokpade added that the National Sports Development Fund and the National Sports Infrastructure Board will also be established through legislative acts, an initiative that is expected to provide a solid financial and infrastructural foundation to support sport development nationwide. He also revealed during the meeting that e-sport will formally be a federation under the National Sport Commission. Ogun State Governor Prince Dakwa Abiodun has rewarded top-performing athletes from the state who participated in the 2024 National Youth Games held in Asaba with cash prizes. The announcement of the rewards was made today by the State Commissioner for Sport, Wasiu Isiaka. Gold medalists received 300,000 naira each, silver medalists 200,000 naira, while bronze medalists were honored with 100,000 naira each. In addition to the rewards, the coaching staff that supported the athletes in their respective disciplines were rewarded with 1 million naira each. According to the official statement, the governor's gesture is part of his administration's ongoing commitment to promote sport and youth development in Ogun State, as well as encourage and support young talents in achieving greater success on the national and international stage. World football ruling body FIFA has formally congratulated Dr. Mohamed Sanusi on his reappointment as the General Secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation for another term of 3 years. In a letter to the newly appointed General Secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation, FIFA Secretary General Matthias Grafthram extended his warm congratulations, describing the role as crucial to the governance, daily operations and long-term success of the Federation. He also highlighted that Sanusi's expertise will play a key role in advancing the Federation's objectives in Nigeria and across Africa. And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyinyechi Obaru.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile. Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Tonight on Entertainment News, the Copyright Society of Nigeria, COSON, held its annual general meeting today, December 10th, at the COSON House in Ikeja, Lagos. The meeting was held to receive, consider, approve, and adopt the audited financial statement of the Society for the year ended December 31st, 2023. Consider the position of auditors and make changes where necessary. Authorize the directors to determine the remuneration for the auditors and elect and re-elect directors to fill positions that were vacant on the board. Speaking at the meeting, the chairman of COSON, Tony Okoroji, welcomed guests, members, and pressmen alike. In his speech, he doubled down on COSON's desire to let the music pay, reiterating his commitment to putting members first and ensuring fairness and transparency. Responding to questions from the press about the lack of trust in collection management organizations and the Society's plan to educate rights holders, here is what he had to say.
We circulate this every year. We audit our accounts every year without question, and we circulate it to our members, and we take questions on it, and members resolve that they are satisfied. That's our duty. We cannot go to every kitchen and every parlor to show everybody what this thing is. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of proxies. Not everybody can enter, a car, come from Maiduguri to Lagos for annual general meeting. We have people from practically every state in the country seated here. Not everybody needs to be here for us to have our annual general meeting. The gentleman here tells me that we have hundreds of people online.
Also present at the meeting were veteran Nigerian singer Sashino Peters, singer-comedian and actor Kofi Ayinde, Idou Onoel, Ogechukwu Nwamaka Onubuya, daughter of veteran Nigerian singer Raski Mono, amongst others.
Non-challenge towards CMOs is because, in all honesty, even the CMOs are not totally abreast with modern trends and what's happening, how these guys are seeing the figures and how the things are working on social media levels. So until the CMOs are able to come at par, because the guys know what obtains in royalties on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, and but CMOs are still running the same, templates from way back. We must get royalties from certain people who use music. But now these boys know we can make money direct. Why do we need you? So until CMOs are able to really create structures that can prove why they are relevant enough, that's when there can be a balance between both bodies.
Kenny Sen Brown, a member of the board, read the report of the directors for the year ended 31st December 2023, highlighting that the Society's annual results was 164,659,924. Its net distributable income was 20,962,879, and the licensing and admin expenses was at 148,697,045, showing a minus 49.90%, minus 91.03 difference, respectively, for the annual result, and net distributable income, while licensing and admin expenses saw a 41.07% increment. As the year comes to an end, some artists are looking to sign up to collection agencies like COSON to avoid leaving money on the table.
And that's all tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Bandits have abducted 43 women and children in Maradun local government area of Zamfara state. Dele Farotimi, to remain in custody at Ekiti Magistrate Court, has denied his bail request till December 20. Southern lawmakers have backed tax reform proposal and called for dialogue. We also brought you news that after his election victory, Ghana's president-elect, John Mahama, is preparing for the journey ahead. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Apple TV, and on YouTube. Thank you as always for your time. Have a good night.